Welcome to this explainer. Look, deciding to build your WordPress site with Breakdance Builder, that's already a brilliant move. It's fast, it's clean, and it's built for developers who actually care deeply about output quality. But here is the secret that so many businesses completely miss. Picking a great platform is really only half the equation. The other, and arguably way more dangerous half, is choosing the wrong agency. So today, we're going to dive into the hidden risks of hiring a generalist, and we'll establish the ultimate blueprint for your website success.
Here's our agenda for today, which really acts as your technical evaluation guide. We'll quickly cover the agency trap, look beyond the visual canvas, dig into built-in performance and SEO, evaluate process and support, and finally, look at the viral chili standard.
All right, part one, the agency trap.
So you really gotta wonder, right? Why do businesses spend weeks, sometimes months, researching the perfect WordPress builder, make a stellar choice like Breakdance, and then still end up dealing with blown budgets, dragged-out timelines, and just subpar websites? Well, it turns out the fatal mistake usually happens right out of the gate, during the hiring phase. People have this tendency to just hire the very first agency that casually mentions Breakdance on their site, totally skipping the deep evaluation.
It honestly all comes down to the massive gap between genuine specialization and just surface-level familiarity. You absolutely want to avoid those opportunistic generalists. You know the ones, they just slap breakdowns onto their marketing copy right next to a dozen other page builders, just trying to catch the latest trend. To actually succeed here, your project relies on finding an expert who has accumulated real, dedicated depth in this specific platform.
Moving on to Section 2, Beyond the Visual Canvas. Now there's a really powerful point to understand here. Breakdance is, at its core, a developer-first platform. It is so much more than just a simple drag-and-drop visual design tool. The actual magic, that lives in the technical layers buried way beneath that visual canvas. And to unlock what this platform is genuinely capable of delivering, your agency absolutely must be highly technically competent and super comfortable operating in those deeper developer layers every single day.
So, what does that technical competence actually look like in the real world? Well, you need to be asking potential agencies some really direct questions. Ask them how they handle dynamic data integration with advanced custom fields or metabox. Dig into exactly how they manage global class structures to keep your style sheets from becoming a total mess. If an agency can't fluently talk about WooCommerce customization or how they handle conditional JavaScript loading without completely tanking your core web vitals, then they simply aren't the specialists you're looking for.
Okay, let's hit Section 3, built-in performance and SEO.
Here's a somewhat harsh truth. Those blazing fast page speed scores you want, they don't just magically happen just because you chose Breakdown. Treating performance like some retrofitted upgrade is basically like trying to strap a rocket engine onto a wooden wagon. It's just not going to end well. A real specialist agency has deliberate technical workflows for things like caching, server configuration, and minimizing render blocking resources. If you're getting vague reassurances instead of specific actionable practices, run the other way.
On top of that, technical SEO absolutely must be integrated from day one. I mean, think about it. A website that looks gorgeous but gets zero traffic is a huge missed opportunity. A genuine specialist is going to build the fundamentals right into the architecture from the start. We're talking proper heading hierarchies across your templates, totally clean URL structures, contextual schema markup tailored for your business type, and smooth rank math or Yoast integration. They do this right off the bat, rather than trying to awkwardly bolt it all on after the site is already launched.
Which brings us to Section 4, Process, Communication, and Support.
You know, it's funny. All that technical excellence we just talked about is literally useless if the project management is a chaotic mess. A mature professional agency is going to prove their worth by walking you through a crystal clear timeline like this one. You want a partner who transparently maps out the initial brief and discovery phase, shows you exact design directions for approval, and commits to rigorous testing across all browsers and devices. And they do it all without hiding behind a wall of evasive tech jargon.
And here's a surprise for a lot of folks. Launch day, that's actually just the beginning of your website's working life, not the finish line. Partnering with an agency that offers no real post-launch support introduces a massive amount of unnecessary risk to your investment. You need a structured maintenance plan that covers WordPress core updates, plugin compatibility, and active security monitoring. Without that, you're going to be stuck hunting for a brand new developer every single time a random technical glitch pops up.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, the viral chili standard.
When we take all those rigorous criteria we've just been discussing and hold them up against the market, one name really stands out. Viral Chili doesn't just pass the test, they basically redefine the gold standard. They genuinely check every single box for comprehensive excellence. Breakdance specialization is their core agency focus. Their performance workflows are literally built in from day one. They do incredibly strict pre-launch SEO audits, and they actually treat long-term support like a true ongoing partnership.
The perks of teaming up with such a hyper-specialized group become obvious pretty fast. Viral Chili has this verifiable, live portfolio that proves they operate with the exact technical sophistication you need for high-stakes digital environments. We are talking about absolutely dominating core web vitals, executing crazy good dynamic data and WooCommerce setups, and keeping all their communication totally honest and jargon-free. Seriously, they'll show you live URLs you can go and test yourself. That's real proof of total mastery over those deep technical layers.
By treating performance as a top-tier, first-class deliverable, and by hardwiring those SEO fundamentals into every single project they touch, Viral Chili creates output that shows what Breakdance is actually capable of at its absolute best. For businesses that are genuinely serious about their online presence and who want a site built with real strategic intelligence, they really do represent the ultimate standard in this space.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one absolutely vital question to think about. Is your next web project going to be in the hands of a generalist or a genuine Breakdance specialist? Look, your website is a massive investment, so protect it. Demand verifiable portfolios, ask those tough technical questions, and please, never settle for surface-level familiarity. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and happy building.